Hello, madam. Welcome to the online conference 2016 May. Thank you for your participation and dedications. Today we will talk about pros and cons of education programs by running government or NGO or government plus NGO and better suggestions for making up for the cons. So are there any education programs or vocational training centers that women with disabilities can apply in your country? And if there are, who or which runs them? And are they effective for supporting women with disabilities practically? And tell us the reason why. And tell
Okay,
us, yeah, thank you.
thank you. In Kenya, we have vocational training centers.
Mm-hmm.
They are not, we have vocational training centers.
Mm-hmm.
They are not specifically for women with disabilities.
Mm-hmm.
They are for everybody.
Oh,
They are
every
not
women
built,
or everybody, including
we don't
men?
have one specifically for women with disabilities.
What
We
about
have
for
for both men and women.
Oh, okay.
And for those who doesn't have disability,
Mm-hmm.
the vocational centers are for those without disabilities.
Mm-hmm.
So if a disabled person goes there,
Mm-hmm.
they are not.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Sorry, madam, we were disconnected. Can you start from if persons with disabilities goes there and
Hello.
hello, I'm here.
Okay.
Okay, can you
Go
start
ahead.
from if persons with
Yes.
disabilities go there and
Are you hearing?
yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. So we don't have a specific polytechnic for women with disabilities
Mm-hmm.
in Kenya.
Yeah.
We don't have a specific vocational training center
Mm-hmm.
for women with disabilities in Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
We have a general vocational training center for youths
Mm.
and those without disabilities.
Mm-hmm.
And their environment is not disability friendly. They are
Oh.
always run by the government.
Uh-huh. So do you have any ideas for um, which one is the best way for supporting women with disabilities for
Sorry?
education? Which is the best education or proposal for women with disabilities for getting jobs?
The best education or way for women with disabilities getting education is by having a specific vocational center for women with disabilities and support them
Mm-hmm.
to to by giving them scholarship,
Mm-hmm.
paying the education support so
Mm-hmm.
that they get the education and become empowered. Then now they can become self-reliant. So if we have a vocational training center
Mm-hmm.
specifically for women with disabilities in Kenya,
Mm-hmm.
that is run by women with disabilities and having the government as a partner,
Mm,
then
yeah.
that will be good.
Mhm. And what about the vocational? What about the vocational center now you have in your country? How you can make that for persons with disabilities accessible?
Uh, we will have to renovate, put where people with disability can walk,
Mm-hmm.
because some of them are muddy and some of them doesn't have good buildings.
Mm-hmm.
So infrastructure can be done. to enable women with disabilities be part of the current or the existing vocational centers in Kenya.
Okay. And for the next question, we were talking about the international trade. So are your organization willing to engage in the international trade for raising
Yes,
funds?
we as women with disabilities, we are willing to engage in international trade. And if you organize for an international trade meeting,
Mm-hmm.
we will be willing to come
Mm-hmm.
and share so that we work as a team, because that is going to build our capacity,
Mm-hmm.
will give us new ideas so that we come back home and do good things, and also will make the group or will empower women to become self-reliant.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you. And about the negotiation with your government, what do you think about that? Do you think your organization can negotiate that privilege?
My government,
Mm-hmm.
government is very positive in addressing issues of people with disabilities.
Mm-hmm.
And if we tell the government that we want to engage with the Korean government on trade, they will be willing to support. And we also have some regulation on what to exempt when it's
Mm-hmm.
going to support issue of people with disabilities. So
Yeah.
my government is positive in addressing
Mm-hmm.
intergovernment trade or partnership,
Yeah.
and they will be willing to uh, support women with disabilities to see that this come true, and also ensure that women with disabilities become self-reliant.
Yeah. So we would like to suggest to negotiate with the government as an organization. So we can, if that negotiation is done, we can gather the buyers and merchandiser for that. If we have that privilege, they will gather together.
Yes, the government is willing. They are positive about that, because the government's interest is to see the development and services brought closer to the people. And if this is going to be done, it means the women with disabilities in Kenya are going to be more empowered. And this is great achievement for my government. They will be really willing, and I had shared with some of the government officers over
Oh.
that issue. They are
Uh-huh.
positive about that.
Oh, okay. That's really good to hear that. All
Yes.
right. Let's go to the topic of the last month, shall we?
Okay, fine.
Okay. So the last month we were talking about education regarding the types of disabilities. So we would like to listen the actual condition of education for each types of disabilities. For example, hearing, sight, physical, development, mental, we have different types of disabilities. So could you explain about the education of your country for each types of disabilities?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, for each type of disability in Kenya,
Mhm,
we have schools, special schools for uh, people with physical disability.
mhm,
We have schools for people with visual impairment.
mhm,
We have schools for people with hearing impairment.
mhm.
We have schools for people with cerebral palsy.
Oh.
We
Mhm,
have institutions for people with autism in
mhm,
Kenya.
mhm.
And we have schools for the albinism. They are put together with the
Oh.
visual impaired because of the sight.
Uh-huh.
People with albinism. Then we have
Yes.
uh, maybe some few centers for people with multiple disability,
Mhm,
severe.
Mm-hmm.
So, despite all those, we still also face some challenges of
Oh.
addressing in other areas because the schools are few and
Uh-huh.
the country is big.
Mm-hmm.
So it should go down to the grassroots so that people get these schools at the grassroots at a subsidy, because it's also expensive to educate, to pay school
Mm-hmm.
fee to those
Mm-hmm.
institutions to enable your child get education. Thank you.
Okay. Is that institution is by running by government or running by uh, a company or a fund?
Okay, the schools, the institutions are run by, some are run by the government,
Mm-hmm.
some are run by churches, missionaries,
Mm-hmm.
like mission schools.
Okay.
Some are run by private sector,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, or
Uh-huh.
maybe an NGO
Mm-hmm.
having a school or an institution.
So is the school fee expensive than others? How much expensive? How more expensive than other schools?
Schools for people with disability is very expensive
Uh-huh.
because you pay school fee for taking care of this child there,
Mm-hmm.
and if you compare the schools of people with disability and school of people without disability,
Mm-hmm.
people without disability, their fee is not very expensive.
Oh.
But for people with disability, it's expensive because you even get, you will need mobility to walk. So you buy that from the school.
Mm-hmm.
So it becomes a challenge.
Okay. Madam, the camera is reversed.